Why gas and bloating aren't normal? What's your gut actually trying to tell you? If you suffer with gas and bloating that's downright uncomfortable, you might have heard, oh, it's normal, it's no big deal, or take a gas pill, take a probiotic. The facts are that your gut is trying to tell you something very important, so I want to go through the potential causes and what you can do about it. The first is something called small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. It's called SIBO. And the facts are that in the small intestine, you shouldn't have bacteria. It's relegated in the correct fashion in your colon, which is your large intestine. And you have a great number of bacteria, anywhere from 60 to 100 trillion. It's called your microbiome. But what happens with small intestinal bacterial overgrowth is the bacteria migrate up into the small intestine, they multiply, and because they shouldn't be there anyway, they sit there, they ferment, and you can get bloating, gas, also constipation or diarrhea, depending on the type of SIBO you have. And there's a test for that. I recommend you find somebody who knows how to get to the root cause and test for it and get to the root cause of it, not just give you a medication, because if you don't get to the root cause, it's going to keep happening. So that's number one. Then we have food intolerances or malabsorption. So you can eat foods that you like, but your body doesn't like them. You don't tolerate them very well, and they do kind of sit in your stomach, small intestine. They putrefy and they make gas. A different problem is malabsorption. You might be eating very well, but your body's ability to absorb the nutrients due to enzyme disturbances, not enough stomach acid, just disallows you from absorbing the nutrients. And it's mostly carbohydrates that do this. They ferment, they produce gas and bloat. So you want to do a test to see if you have any food sensitivities. This is different than a food allergy test. Typically, as a child, you figure out true allergies because symptoms are fairly dramatic. But food sensitivities are very common, and malabsorption is also a test that you can do. Next, we go into what's called motility issues, or just motion through your digestive tract. You can have something called gastroparesis. Gastro means stomach, paresis like paralysis, where things are not moving rapidly through your stomach. And the formula is the same. There's a natural motion of your digestive tract, how things go down your esophagus to get from your mouth to your stomach, the fact that food processes through your stomach in about 2 to 4 hours. If it's much slower than that, it's deemed gastroparesis, and it slows everything. And then things are slower through the small intestine and slower through the large intestine. So constipation is another form of, or another indicator of lack of good motility. But what it allows is for nutrition to just hang around too long. It's not being broken down effectively, and it putrefies and makes gas and therefore bloat. So ruling out causes of motility issues, we get into hiatal hernia and people not having enough stomach acid and bad bacteria. So these are the things that have to be assessed to see why you have a motility issue, not just do you have one. Americans are known to be dehydrated, not drinking enough water, not eating enough fiber. That can help. So you can definitely try that. It's an easy thing to try. But then if that's not enough, you want to go deeper and test and really find the root cause. Another really interesting thing is hormonal influence and stress. So there's a gut-brain connection that you might have heard of, but the facts are that when you're under a lot of stress or your hormones are imbalanced, a couple of things can happen. One is that your nerves in your gut are more sensitized. I liken it to having a bad sunburn if you've ever had one. If you have, you know, just brushing against your skin very, very lightly is quite painful. And so it wasn't the brushing against the skin that was unduly harsh, it wasn't, but your nerves felt it very sensitively. It was very painful for you. Similarly, in the gut, when you have certain hormonal imbalances and under a lot of stress, those gut nerves are more sensitized. So even just a little bit of gas and bloat, you feel very acutely. So you're feeling what you're feeling. You are feeling a great deal of discomfort, but there's not a tremendous amount of gas and bloat. So what we need to do is get to the root of where this hormonal imbalance is coming from so those nerves can calm down. Also, just being under stress activates your sympathetic, your fight or flight nervous system. And as a result of that, motility slows because your body's getting ready to move fast and handle whatever situation is occurring. That's what fight or flight is about. So it's not going to digest. It's not going to move its bowels. It's like, no, we're on the move. So it's a life protection kind of mode that the body goes into. But if you're under that stress, often you have slowed motility. And with slowed motility, bacteria multiply and we get gas and bloating. And then also stress in another way affects the good bacteria, bad bacteria ratio. So we get more bad bacteria in the colon, more fermentation, more gas and bloating. So the ultimate is the gas and bloating is our result, and how we got there is a lot of it is fermentation, bad bacteria. But how you got there, there's a few different avenues, which is what I've been mentioning. So that's what you want to find a clinician who can help you isolate what is it for you. So now you can see where taking a gas pill or just throwing a probiotic at it is just not specific enough. Now, it is easy to, as I mentioned earlier, try the hydration and try increasing fiber, and that might be enough for you, which is great. But if not, then you've got to go the next step and find a clinician who can really help. You want to rule out celiac disease, thyroid disease, test for the SIBO, as I mentioned. You can get an endoscopy and see if you have a hiatal hernia or you have certain infections in your stomach. There are gastric emptying tests that can be ordered by a gastroenterologist, and then trials of elimination diets to see if you have any food sensitivities. So that's the process, but it is very important because the person who has a little gas and bloat is not sensitive to, doesn't appreciate what you might be experiencing with. I mean, I've had patients say, I sip water and boom, I'm bloated. I have a couple of bites and there I'm burping, I'm belching, I'm farting, I have distended abdomen, I look like I'm 5 months pregnant. These are all the comments that I hear. It's not normal. And those who don't suffer with it, if you're telling them, oh, I'm bloated, it's like, oh, well, I get bloating sometimes, it's no big deal. No, it is. Because all of these things I mentioned, this imbalance of your microbiome, it speaks not only to your ability to absorb your nutrition, to turn food into fuel. That's why we eat, so we can nourish all our cells so they can function optimally and be healthy and protect us. But that microbiome influences your metabolism, so your weight, your energy, whether you're fatigued or not. It influences your immune system, whether you're getting sick often or you're likely to get infections or cancer or autoimmune disease. The immune system is critical. And then hormonal balance. So it influences you in a lot of different ways. And so I hope this information is helpful for you and you found it valuable. If you did, like the videos, subscribe to the channel, and send me a comment. I love your comments. I read and answer pretty much every single one. And until next time, have a great day.